Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're back on the test server. I'm going to be showing off the new epic that's part of this fusion for Kratos Fox Hunter. I feel like a lot of people have been coming back to me and saying, I cannot get this legendary champion. They've put the points too damn high on things like the Summon Rush. And I agree. Like, I was looking at it yesterday. What was it? 4,600 points for an epic in a Summon Rush. But 2,400 odd points for a rare? Clarium, look yourself in the mirror and be disgusted. That's what you should do. So, we're going to show off this dwarf, who I actually think for a up-and-coming account, where is she? For an up-and-coming account, could be a really good progression-based champion. So, FYLJA, she looks like the Mountain King. I was going to say she looks like the Mountain King's daughter. She doesn't. She straight up looks like him. I think they're like twins or something. Maybe a bit younger. But yeah, she's looking pretty mean. She's obviously just bored or something. She has not got much expression going off there. She's like, whatever. And it kind of goes with her kit. She is pretty selfish with her kit. But I think there's a lot of areas where she could actually do you some good. So let's talk about what she's got going on. Double hitter on her A1, decreases target max HP. It's just kind of straight up a Scarab boss ability right here. There's not really anywhere else in the game at the moment where decreasing max HP makes a lot of sense. But for Scarab boss on an A1, that's actually pretty good. A2 then is a turn meter drop. Like this ability, especially when you pair it. Firstly, for Scarab boss, great. But also when you pair it with the A3, this is a really cool ability. 100% chance to fully deplete turn meter. I think for someone like Spider, it's great. For Fire Knight with a double hitter here, plus a turn meter drop here, she could be useful. For Ice Golem, useful. Probably the best place in the game, though, I think, is going to be Dark Fae, where you go AoE ability on the A3. You gain a ton of turn meter back for nuking your mirrors. And then you go pop, and I'm also going to drop Dark Fae's turn meter. That could be a really cool combo. And she hits pretty hard. Not crazy hard, but she hits pretty hard. So the A3 here, it's a nuke. And, it's a nuke. It's a decent hitter. But for everybody that she hits, she's going to get a turn meter fill of 15%. That's a lot. She's also going to get a selfish heal. She only does all of this stuff to herself if she crits. So you do want her to be 100% crit. You do want to build her for some sort of damage to get some benefit from this as well. And then this is cool. So she's got a passive where if she's got fewer than 2 buffs, I'm just going to put myself an increased attack and increased crit damage buff. Just straight up more damage. I really wish, this is the sort of thing, they should have just put this on Simple. Imagine if Simple had this passive. Suddenly you'd be like, damn, self-buffing and can do a load of stuff? Great. That's what he lacks. A nice little passive. And this is not a complicated passive. It's just a nice little passive. So first thing I'm going to show you, I can't actually show you the run because we don't have Scarab boss, we don't have Dark Fae in the rotation on the test server right now. But this is the type of build I would do against Scarab boss, and I feel like it could be a solo style build, a bit like we do with a bunch of champions now. There's a few champions that can do it, but a regen set, pretty quick, with the accuracy to drop her turn meter on her A2. You would probably turn off her A3 and just have her rotating A1 and A2. Regen set to regain health. Enough accuracy to land her drop turn meter. And War Master is your kind of main mastery. And you'd make sure you've got a blood shield accessory on just so that she self-shields. And with that kind of combo, I think she could probably solo Scarab boss. But I can't show you, which is annoying. But I'll show you 2 different builds that I think are possible. Firstly, I'm going to show you a stun set in action. And then I'm going to show you her as like a damage build going through waves. Here we go then. So I've gone for stun set. I've made sure she's got 100% crit rate. So she's wearing crit rate gloves. Pretty fast, good accuracy to land her drop turn meter ability. But the main thing I'm thinking here is she just has the ability to stun off some waves with the stun set, whilst also bringing a bit of utility to fights like Spider here with turn meter drop. I think Spider would be one of the kind of great areas where if someone's just looking for a bit of progression, I think this epic can come in and do a good job. And what we see here is going to be similar to what we see anywhere. So Let's just get through some abilities. Seal will obviously throw some stuns out. Drex will throw some provokes out. He's going to be my main tank. And you see here, she does an AoE, dropped 1 stun off for us, and she goes straight in and says, turn meter, see you later. Because she gets that extra turn meter from her A3, it's as if her A3's got an extra turn cooldown, which means we get back to it really quick. So if she started to take any damage, think there, AoE again, look at that, more stuns off. If she started to take any damage, she would just heal straight up with the A3, which is pretty cool as well. It's unlikely, though, that she's going to also be your tank unless you don't bring in like a proper tank. So if you were just going all the same affinity, you could push her as the lowest HP champion, and she would be a tank for you as well. But for a progression account, like I'm thinking my free-to-play account, she would help me tons. I don't have a turn meter drop champion yet. I don't have any sort of good control champions yet. So getting this epic in the bag for me on the free-to-play early on would be brilliant. Look at that. Good damage, actually. Good damage. I built her a bit for damage here, but not like crazy. So you can kind of see the type of effect she's going to have. And I feel like this same build would help you out in Faction Wars. It would help you out in any wave-based content like Doom Tower, that type of thing. And the turn meter drop coming in as well. It's just like, damn, that is actually nice. That's going to help you out a ton. You know, if you think about all of the different areas of the game where you want a turn meter drop, like Fire Knight, Ice Golem, loads of the Doom Tower bosses, she's going to come in and just pop that 100% turn meter drop. Now, I think the further you get through the game, if you're an end game account right now, look, she's not going to be game changing for you. She's not going to all of a sudden be the champion that's going to change all of your teams. No, of course not. But in terms of anybody that's working their way through mid-game towards like level 20 stuff and starting to get their way through higher levels of Doom Tower, I think she does do that. I think she does come in and really helps an account. I've got to set up here with War Master as the kind of main mastery. And I think that is going to be the sort of general build that most people would use, because then you can throw her into all sorts of boss fights and get some benefit. If you just wanted her for wave content like Faction War waves, Doom Tower waves, waves to get to a boss, then you'd probably be better off throwing her in Helm Smasher and going for a bit of a higher damage build. You could also run her quite comfortably in stuff like Relentless gear or any other control-based gear, or something like Reflex if you wanted to try and get back to a main skills even quicker. But I do love how quickly you just get back to all of these kind of different control abilities. So for a progression account, I think she's going to be awesome. Let's come off a spider for a second. I'll show you the same type of idea, but on Doom Tower waves. When we're talking about Doom Tower, I pushed it up to like normal 93. It's quite easy for my account, but just to give you an idea, you know, we haven't quite got Scylla the Drakes yet. And is she going to come in and do some work here? Well, I think she does. I think she gives us an option for some damage. So she uses her A2 first there. She seems to use her A2 if it is negative affinity more than her A3. But here we go. Pop the A3. There's a chance, obviously, of getting stuns out. Didn't get them then. But it's just kind of like a turn meter controller plus a bit of potential chance to stun. I think it gives you an option, at least, to get through some Doom Tower stuff. But it's not the best. It's not the best. You know, much rather have a Scylla the Drake's guaranteed stun. But she does do a decent amount of damage and a little bit of control for you as well, which the higher you get in Doom Tower, the more control you need, honestly. It's interesting. So just check here. I think whenever it's negative affinity, she won't use her abilities like she does on everything else. So she's got all of her abilities up. Negative affinity. What's she going to do? She pops the A2. Let's wait to the next wave. I don't think she uses her A3 if it's a negative affinity enemy, which is weird. Let's get through a couple of these. So she's got her A1 or her A3 to use against, what, 2 negative, 2 void. She did use it there. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, did we get any stuns off? We didn't get a stun off. But anyway, that's kind of where I think she would be best used. But honestly, the two best areas I can't show you, which I think is Scarab Boss and Dark Fae. And certainly she'll come in and do some good work for you in Faction Wars. But as I say, a progression epic, a good champion, not a crazy champion. Let me show you what she does if she's in max damage gear. So we're going Savage and Cruel gear, max damage, the best I can do with the gear that I've got. And let me show you what she's got going on. Savage and Cruel with Helm Smasher on. This is the A3. I mean, it's like a 200k across the board, but honestly, that's not as disgusting as it seems considering the setup we've got here. It's like probably about an average damage grading. And she is super slow. She's literally an attack percent boost. She's got it all going on. It's a hard hit. She can get her to do some damage. The A2 there, 150k. It's pretty solid as well. Everything about her kit is kind of like pretty solid hitting, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy compared to other champions that are out there. So I feel like she ends up in this kind of no man's land of she will help you progress your account. She definitely is not going to be your end game kind of dungeon runner or even struggle to get into an end game faction war team, but she certainly will help you get to the end game. So there you go, guys. FYLJA, I think if you can't get Fox Hunter, you should get yourself a copy, especially if you're trying to progress through the game. She's decent, a good epic, probably one of the best epics that was launched in this patch, but she is not going to really help proper end game players do much else. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.